Welcome back to the Looney Bin. My name is Looney, and welcome back to another Shipping Yard video. And this time we're going to be talking about the final trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And why? If you followed me for my previous video about asking whether or not the song trailer that they released months ago was a Cloud and Aerith victory, well, this final trailer, as well as the gameplay, as well as the demo they released, may be saying otherwise, and this time giving a possible win towards the Cloud and Tifa ship. So let us go over what happens in the trailer, what happens in the gameplay footage they showed, as well as, what we experienced in the demo. It may contain some spoilers, so if you do not want to be spoiled by anything that we've seen so far in the gameplay, in the trailer, or even in the demo, I highly advise you to, stop watching the video from here, because it will get into those things. So just a bit of a warning, all right? So let us begin. First off, let's talk about the trailer. Now, the trailer, while it doesn't show much, it does show both, ships having some sort of moment with each other. One of them is the Cloud and Aerith scenario where, they're speaking inside the church, and she appears to be holding holy, the magic, the materia that will stop, the black materia and Sephiroth and the huge meteor. And I don't believe that's a moment that we actually see in the original. I could be wrong because I haven't played the original in quite a while, so please excuse me if I misremember. But it is nice for the Cloud and Aerith shippers to see. However, that seems to be the only scenario that really showcases about Cloud and Aerith. There are a few others, but they're really minor. One of them being that Aerith does go to hug Cloud's arm, or like grabs his arm again. There's that. But in that same, gameplay, we also see that Cloud might be a little nervous, a little, anxious that, Aerith is doing that, and kind of looking at Tifa like almost as if, please don't misunderstand, this isn't what it looks like, that kind of stuff. But that is just what I interpret it as. You may not interpret it as that, especially if you're a Cloud and Aerith shipper, because it may not look that way to you. It might just look to you as if, Cloud is just embarrassed. He wants Aerith to touch him, but he's just too embarrassed to admit, his feelings about the whole scenario, right? But again, shipping is about that. It's about interpreting different, scenes and, making those scenes in support for your own ship. But let's move on. We see the moment that possibly influences that, Cloud yelling out, Tifa! That scene from the previous show, not the final show, but the previous story trailer. And it seems like going to be that scenario where Jenova is trying to manipulate Cloud into believing that his friends aren't real, that they are just Jenova clones, or, they're trying to play tricks on him, and then he goes, attacks Tifa. Now, before I go into more of that, I do want to mention that the trailer that they showed at the State of Play was different from that version of the trailer that we see after we played the demo, where in the demo version, we see Cloud has blood over his face, which I guess they didn't show in the YouTube trailer because, censorship. But it is interesting that they did add blood to it. But in that trailer, we see apparently Cloud attacking Tifa, and then when he finally comes to the realization that Tifa is actually real, he screams out, Tifa! That is a very important Cloud and Tifa moment, especially because of the words that Cloud talks about, that Cloud says in that part of the trailer.
Those we hate, those we love.
That's a very good hint for Cloud and Tifa shippers, because it basically kind of reveals that Cloud actually loves Tifa. One can argue that, that's just for anybody. Tifa was just in that scenario, If Cloud was attacking Aerith, he'll probably say the same thing, and it's possible. We can't really verify that simply just because we only have the trailer, and we only see in that trailer a scenario with Cloud and Tifa. Now, usually, whenever any sort of creator uses lines like that, usually the scenario always, or like maybe I would say probably 90% of the time, always has a certain character that they want to be part of that moment as well whenever a character talks about, the big L word. And we see it being Tifa. Now, I know some people will probably argue that it could have been anyone. Like, they could have put Aerith in it, it would have been the same dialogue. They could have put Barrett or like one of his friends in it, and it would have been the same thing. It was just being, ambiguous. It was just being like he could have been mentioning anybody at all. Because, you could love your friends, you could love your family and such. So, there's, an argument that people can make. I'm just saying, as someone who has followed shipping for a long time, usually whenever they do anything in regards to that, it usually means something more, but I have been proven wrong before, so who knows. Yeah, that's really much from the trailer that I could think of from the top of my head. But let's move on to the gameplay footage that they showed, where they actually showed, about how the relationship function works, where as you adventure through the world of Final Fantasy VII, you get moments where you could boost your friendship with your characters that allow you to create new moves, new synergy moves, and stuff like that. But apparently also influences the, story. And similar to how like visual novels do it, where like you choose a choice, it's going to be working very similar. I don't know how much of it will change the story, but from what I know, from what we know from interviews and stuff like that, it can change pretty much a lot, because they said that depending on your choices and what happens at the Golden Saucer, it will affect what happens after the Golden Saucer. So who knows? But it is exciting because I love those type of things. So it's going to be fun playing through all the routes that you're able to increase the relationship for every character, because I want to see these moments. I want to see how the writers and the director and the producer are showcasing these moments, because that's a lot of fun to me. As we continue watching the gameplay trailer, we see actually that they are now showcasing moments from the Cloud and Tifa date that you can have at the Golden Saucer. In fact, they basically kind of spoil, like, I want to say 25% of it, because you see the moment where, Tifa is asking Cloud out on a date. You see them going out into the Golden Saucer, and then you see them getting on board the gondola scene, where that famous Cloud and Aerith scene happens. But now with Tifa, we don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but if it's similar to the original, it's mostly going to be a conversation, but it's a very deep conversation that they have. But we are able to see that you are able to go on a date with Tifa. A lot of Cloud and Aerith shippers, when the song trailer came out, stated that because they saw it, or we saw it happen in that trailer, that means it was canon. That wasn't true. I never believed it was officially that's how you make something canon, because if you play the original, you know that that's just one of like 4 dates that you can have at the Golden Saucer. So I never really believed that was irrefutable proof that Cloud and Aerith was going to be canon, because it's not how that plays out in the original. And I know some people say, well, they're going to change it and stuff like that. They're not going to change something that, a lot of people really like about the Golden Saucer. It's baffling to me that's like some shippers actually just believe instantly that if they see something, it automatically proves it's canon without actually getting the gameplay. It's very weird to me. But I'm not going to go into that, because it's like a very separate video that I eventually want to make. But the point is that we see that moments of Cloud and Tifa having on the Golden Saucer, and their date scenario and stuff like that. So that is huge for a lot of Cloud and Tifa shippers. It may be a little bit disheartening for Cloud and Aerith shippers, unless they were just just too excited about the whole scenario in the song trailer, that they just wanted to believe that was canon and that's it. Especially if you go on the Square Enix website, you see like the 4 dates that happens on the gondola. So it's like, come on. If you were expecting it to only be Cloud and Aerith, then I feel bad, but I just want you to know that, I'm not against any ships in Final Fantasy VII, If you like a ship in Final Fantasy VII, congrats. I have my own preference, I'm not gonna lie. At the end of the day, who knows what's gonna happen, It's amazing to me that they're doing this now, and they're kind of like baiting shippers with these last couple of trailers. It's so weird. I don't understand it. Like, why are they baiting shippers so much? It doesn't surprise me, because at the end of the day, shippers are a big part of a fan base. While some people may not like shippers at all, you have to understand, shipping in any sort of fan base is sometimes pretty huge. And sometimes they have to cater to those shippers, despite how much you hate them. It makes them a lot of money. It really does. Now, which ship do they cater the most, and where they get most of the, the positive engagement, the most money out of? I can't tell you. There's probably some data out there which I'm not going to share, just because it's just gonna create more arguments. But it is what they're doing. It's very weird. Now let's move on to the demo. So the demo is the Nibelheim demo, the Nibelheim flashback. This is going to go into spoilers. So again, I recommend you, if you don't like spoilers, especially with the Nibelheim stuff, please don't watch this if you don't want to be spoiled. But for those who have played the original, we know about the Nibelheim flashback and why it feels weird, why it seems different. It's because Cloud is not actually remembering the flashback properly. Why? Because the memories he's telling you is not through his perspective. It's through Zack's perspective, because Cloud's mind is really messed up. It's really messed up. It's switching the memories around, because in actuality, the Shinra soldier that actually, protected and helped Tifa during, when the entire crew was being surrounded by monsters, and he takes, the brunt of the force, that's actually the real Cloud. And that's another big boost for Cloud and Tifa shippers, because it shows that Cloud, despite the fact of not seeing Tifa for a long time, is still very protective of her. And frankly, if you've seen how their story is of when they were kids, they even mentioned it in the demo, they had their other reasons, or both of them had their reasons, I should say, that they didn't really hang out as much. And that was mostly because Cloud was very, very, secretive about his crush on Tifa. We also see certain moments where, Cloud walks up or climbs up the ladder onto the water tower where, they made their promise. He stares out at Tifa's window. If you are a Cloud and Tifa shipper, guess what? You see that, and you see a boy, Cloud. It could possibly be the memory of the Shinra soldier, who Cloud really is, as he looks out at Tifa's window where she lived. And it just looks like the type of scene where it's just a guy who really cares about someone, just reminiscing about, that person. It's a fun shipping moment. So for Cloud and Tifa shippers, that's probably a really cool moment. Then there's also, the moments when you enter the house and, all that fun stuff about looking through Tifa's stuff and stuff like that, where she gets angry at you. No matter which choice you make, she gets angry at you.
Cloud! You asshole!
But there is very much a large portion of the Nibelheim flashback that showcases, a very good understanding of Cloud and Tifa's relationship that shippers of the Cloud and Tifa ship will be very happy about. Overall, this entire day of content was very Cloud and Tifa heavy. I do also want to point out that in the trailer, you do get Zack and Aerith moments. I don't know what version of Aerith that is. It could be the Aerith that's in Cloud's timeline, or it could be the one that's in Zack's timeline, if we believe in the two, timeline theory. Overall, I think all ships really got their moments. Whether it be Cloud and Tifa, Cloud and Aerith, or Zack and Aerith, all three of them kind of had either small moments or really big moments. So at the end of the day, though, Cloud and Tifa really got a lot of good moments, and Cloud and Tifa shippers are really happy about it. The trailer, the gameplay, and the demo really helped Cloud and Tifa, and honestly, for them, congrats to them. How disappointed they probably were with the song trailer, or maybe not disappointing, because some of them probably understood why it wasn't necessarily a Cloud and Aerith victory. I don't know. It depends on your interpretation of things, and if you know or have knowledge about, the OG. At the end of the day, we won't know until we play Rebirth to see exactly what happens, what will be Aerith's situation at the end of Rebirth, as well as whenever the third game of the remake project comes out. But I will make this point, like I made this point in many of my other shipping videos. It's about having fun. Even if your ship isn't canon, you can still ship your ship no matter what. Just be happy, just have fun, and accept the final result. Do not get angry. Do not send death threats to the creators if your ship doesn't become canon. Do not even send death threats to anyone who disagrees with your ship. Please, I'm begging you. That's not a great way to basically have like support of the fandom who already don't like shippers in general, you know? Just have fun with your ship. That's all. Do not send threats. Do not do any of that. Because at the end of the day, it's all about having fun. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. And congratulations to the Cloud and Tifa shippers. Congratulations to them. We can't wait to see what happens in Rebirth. Only a couple days left. But I am excited. Can't wait to play Rebirth. And check out my how I played the demo. It's on my channel if you want to check out some fun and cool things. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next Shipping Yard video. Bye-bye.